Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to some more Rome Total War Remastered, and our campaign as the Scipii family, the underdogs of the three families controlling the Roman territories, obviously aside from the Senate itself, which is not playable, but...
Think very carefully before you reply.
You don't seem to be very... I mean, for the inventors of democracy, you don't seem to be really that good of diplomacy, which I know, one doesn't necessarily correlate to the other, but I would expect you to have a grasp on these civilized matters like this, and you simply do not. I mean, your reputation is zero because you keep backstabbing me, and my reputation isn't, the best, but still. Yeah, no, no.
Until next time.
Need I remind you, I beat you in this war. In that you came to me asking for peace, you gave me Thermon back, and I could have probably asked for a little bit of a tribute as well. Yeah, like... Oh, I completely forgot this guy's path was already set, sorry. Yeah, like, it's, threatening me the turn later is just not very sensible. Senate office lost Cornelius Scipio. However, Senate office gained Cornelius Scipio. Senate office... Okay, well, it's just like... Oh, no, sorry, not the character. I've mucked it up. Cornelius Scipio is 66. Also very... What the hell is up with that portrait? But, okay, never mind. Not what I wanted to click. Give me a second. It's this that I wanted to see. Yeah. So, Flavius Julius has been made Pontifex Maximus of Rome. And meanwhile, Cornelius is now a aedile. He is no longer questor. He is a aedile. Juggernaut, why are you pronouncing one thing in Latin and the other thing in anglicized? In its anglicized variant? You're just going to annoy everyone. Yeah, but, listen, I know. And to the people that are annoyed by close to original pronunciation, I have arguments for it. It's respectful. I try to pronounce whenever there's a foreign name or a word or something like that isn't in the English language, I try and pronounce it as close to the original as I can. It's a thing, it's just, in my mind, the respectful and the correct thing to do. That said, I understand that it's annoying for some people, especially if it's like mundane things. Now, if you were to say, like, you go to the bakery and you're like, oh, can I have a croissant, please? You sound like an arsehole. And I understand that, and no, I would never say that in a bakery. But if we're in a video and we're talking about, I don't know, Quintus Lepus, then, okay, it's Quintus Lepus. It's a name, it's a Latin name, it's fairly simple. Do I need to pronounce it Quintus Lepis? No. No, I don't. It's the same thing. Or, do I need to pronounce Athens how the modern Greeks would pronounce it? No. But at the same time, there are some words that just sound nice, and that's sort of why I do it. I mean, questor. It's like, questa. Nothing. Questor. Like that. Like, it's just nice to pronounce, you know what I mean? And that's the only reason I do it, and I'm not trying to be an arsehole, I swear. That's pretty much all I have to say. Okay, let's get after this settlement. We have one battering ram, that's all we need. And I'm going to play this manually, because I want to use the generals mostly for some safe operations, like killing the skirmishers and the round shield cavalry. And I want to make sure that the Hastati alone fight Burkus. Burkus? I guess? I'm not quite sure. And not the Pricape. I want to keep these guys in the back because I can't retrain them, and I'm saving them for, well, for a different battle. Okay. Alright. Hello, here we go. No general speech because, well, it's a small battle. No need. Are you sure that's the only reason, Juggernaut? Look. The loading time was taking a bit. And I decided to go to the bathroom. And when I came back, the general had already finished his speech. So, yeah. Sorry about that. It was a very small... not a very small speech. It is a very small battle, though, which is going to kill, like, a couple of dudes. We are going to kill the heir to the throne of Carthage, which is no small thing. But, yeah, you know... I did change something between this episode and the last one. Sorry. Really shouldn't drink like bubbly water or carbonated water, or however you want to call it, while recording. Though it is my one addiction. I'll talk about that a little bit as we break down the gate. But I changed the unit color scheme to vibrant, which is closer to the original. There is also realistic, which I don't think I can change right now. Yeah, I'll have to restart the game. Yeah, I've changed it to vibrant. I really like the way it looks. It's definitely a little bit more cartoony, but the game isn't the most realistic looking anyway. And I really like the bright blue colours on the battlefield. Makes our troops easily distinguishable from for the viewing audience. And when there's a fight happening, you can clearly see where our guys are and how many of them are there and stuff. So yeah. I am a fan of that. Anyways, let's move these guys up. You know what I really miss? The ability to walk units. Juggernaut, you already talked about this. Yes, I know, but like, it used to be you can group them up and then order them forward, and they would march together very neatly, very synchronized because they all start at the same time. And it was very pleasing on the eye, you know? It's like, you would watch them and then... interesting. Okay. So, mildly amusing faces, but, yeah, like, it was very pleasing on the eye. Now they have to run everywhere, and now them running just looks messy and yeah, see? Like, I don't think there is a way to change that. If someone knows, please tell me, but I really don't think so. You know, actually, I'm gonna ask in the Warhammer group on Facebook, which is the second group and pretty much the only two groups I ever go to and actually care about on that social network, which nobody seems to be using in my age group nowadays anyway. But hey, it's cool though. It does have those two really nice gaming communities, very super friendly people, super nice. It's like there's never any arguments, there's never any problems. When there are, either I'm the admin that steps in and then quiets it down, or the lovely people over at the Warhammer community that administer that group step in and deal with it. It's just wholesome and lovely, honestly, and sans any kind of drama that you might see in some more open and popular communities and websites and stuff. Reddit. Reddit. I have a story about bubbly water, though, or carbonated water, however you want to call it. Because we're just going to attack cavalry that's not charging back at us. There's really not that much to... Oh, there's a strong ringing in my left ear. That's very weird. Okay. Anyways, what was I going to talk about? Yes, carbonated water. Because there's really not much else to do right now. Yeah, I'm just gonna murder all of them. We are taking more casualties than I would like, though. Can we sort of just push in a little bit? That'd be grand. Anyways, Where was I going with this? Yes. So, about 3 years ago, I had a crippling addiction to canned fizzy drinks. Sodas and stuff like that. I put it to you, most of them taste way better in a can. But, like, I would have a can of some kind of soda, usually Pepsi, for, like, I don't know, 3 times a day, maybe. 2 times, 3 times a day. And I didn't have any health problems at all. I didn't gain much weight. My sugar levels were alright. I mean, they weren't perfect, but they weren't anything that, you know, you need to sort out or whatever. It was all fine, and that sort of Pepsi phase, or the Pepsi story arc, lasted for about, I don't know, like 2 years maybe in uni. But then I was like, you know what, I'm getting older, it's sort of time to accept that, and it's time to accept that you're not 16 or 18 or 20 anymore, and that eventually, if you keep doing this, you're gonna have problems one way or another, and they might not be obvious and manifest themselves right now, but, you know, you're gonna eventually have some kind of health problems if you keep doing this, so you might as well find a better alternative, and carbonated water is that alternative. It's got, like, healthy minerals and stuff, and it's literally just water and the stuff that makes it bubbly. There's no, like, added sugar in it, there's no added flavor in it, there's nothing, it's just water, and that's changed my life. All of a sudden, it was easier to like, control your weight. Sugar intake was lower, so, like, there's all sorts of health benefits for that. And I just felt better. And I'll be brutally honest with you, it is an acquired taste. It's like soda, but it's bland, and I understand not a lot of people would be into that, but hear me out, once you actually, you know, get into it, and after a few bottles, you sort of become accustomed to it, and especially drinking it while you're eating something, it's a terrific alternative for soda, trust me. I think I eventually realized that I don't actually drink soda for the flavor, nor for the sugar. I just drink it because it's carbonated, essentially. I like carbonated drinks, and this was an awesome alternative in every way. I mean, it gave me everything I wanted, sans the the diabetes. Or, you know, the eventual diabetes, I suppose. Diabetes. Anyways, centuries-old memes and health advice aside, yeah, I was expecting this. And it is time for the Carthaginian general to die. These are skirmishes, right? Yeah, we can charge cavalry into those when necessary. For now, though, just close in on the general. Lovely. Oh, they wanna...
The enemy general is running away. This is no way
Really?
to behave, but in battle, it's beyond belief. The enemy general is slain, and now his men fear us. It is time to press the attack.
Oh, okay. You want to charge your ranged infantry into melee combat with me. Can't say I recommend it. We're going to lose a fair number of Astarte here, but that's okay. I am able to replenish them pretty much immediately. Anything else, though, I won't be able to replenish, so, yeah. Like, I have no intention of taking Prickapay back to Capua in order to replenish their numbers. That's insanity. I don't mind the manual replenishment, I really don't. But I think the automatic replenishment just makes a little bit more sense, and is generally just a little bit more convenient. And I would not trade any aspect of Rome Remastered for any of the modern Total War games, because this is a different game, right? It's supposed to be from a different era, it's supposed to be different. I wouldn't put in the provinces system, I wouldn't put in, like, the legendary lord system, or the hero units, or whatever. No, none of that belongs here. This is from a different era, and it's supposed to be different, not just for nostalgia's sake, but this is supposed to be different for the, you know, for the very reason that this is a different kind of Total War game, and it'll appeal to different people, and it'll scratch different interests for you when you play it, you know? But that said, the one thing that I would bring in from newer Total War games is the automatic replenishment. But make it so that it's not massive, right? I wouldn't just copy the replenishment system from, like, Rome 2 or Warhammer or whatever. I would make it a little bit different. I would make it so that every turn you replenish, like, 4, 5 soldiers or so on the highest unit scale. Not the experimental one, but this one. And then if you are in a settlement and you do have the proper buildings required to replenish troops, you can replenish them manually, pay a bit of money, and then, you know, just do it in one turn instantly. So keep this system, but also make it so that every turn you replenish a couple of soldiers and reinforcements sort of trickle in. Mostly just to deal with my OCD, if I'm honest with you, because it would be it's really, really annoying to have, like, 4 stacks of 160 Hastati and the 5th stack has 158. It's really annoying. Can we just not have, like, 2 men from, I don't know, the local village cosplay as the Hastati that I need and just sort of march in the rear and then just pretend to be actual Hastati for my own sanity? I'm joking, obviously, but, like, you know, it's just trickle in a couple of men here and there every now and again, just for my OCD and to make it a little bit more convenient. That I think would be ideal, but nothing else. Like the upgrading system, the weapon system, and the like armor and stuff like that from Rome 2, don't like it. The way it's done over there is, like, if you have a settlement that can make level 2 armor, you have access to level 2 armor worldwide. Here, you need to make troops in the settlement that has the armor in order for them to have the upgrade or retrain them at that settlement, and then just pay for the extra equipment. I like that. It's more hardcore, it's more difficult, it's less convenient, it makes you plan things out a little bit differently. Wouldn't change that. Love that. But a replenishment I would definitely add. And I'm surprised there isn't a mod that does that. But let me just cut this this loading screen, which is taking a little bit too long. Alright, that took forever. Here we go. Enslave. Ooh. No. I have a good reason for saying no. Sorry. It would make managing Thapsas easier, no doubt. But it will also increase the population of Messana. It's after battles, isn't it? It's after battles that the performance just tanks significantly. Yeah, and it seems like the first time you click on the city, it takes a while for it to, like, load in everything, and then it goes back to normal again. Very strange. Anyways, I expect, like, hiccups like that to happen, and then, you know, we'll probably get a few patches soon to fix all of this. An agent has been found in Lilibeum. Okay, who cares? Right. There was something I was going to do. I remember what it was. Yes, first of all, obviously, retrain the Hastati, retrain the ship. Lovely. This is a great province, honestly. Now let's build like let's build Town Watch, because we're going to need Town Watch here. We're also going to build merchants here, I think. Now the construction queue, bit of a different story. I would like an arena to entertain the masses. No, I wouldn't, because there's no temple here, and a temple is an instant buff to public order. So yeah, temple to Saturn. That puts us at 70 for the next turn, which isn't ideal. But considering we just conquered the province, there's going to be quite a bit of unrest. I like it. I do. Let me just delete all the messages. Maybe that'll improve our performance ever so slightly. Now, obviously recruitment and construction, and or not recruitment, but just construction in the cities over here going well. To build something over here. And I think it's gonna be a market. Now, Gaius Scipio, my lad. I want to bait the Greeks into attacking Thermon by moving away from it. Because when they attack it, I can attack back, beat this army, send it running home, and then sue for peace. And the reason I want to sue for peace is I don't really intend on taking all of this. Not for any pragmatic reasons like it's difficult to hold or I don't have the manpower or whatever. No, I totally have. But I want to make this an interesting playthrough, right? And that's one of the beauties of older Total War games. You can min-max and just conquer the entire map and paint it in like 20, 30, 50, 100 turns or whatever. That's all fine and well, but you can also create these nice little stories of Thermon being given to us as, you know, a plea for help, and not a plea for help, but a plea for mercy, and in exchange for us sparing the Greek fleets that are in the Mediterranean. However, you know, there are those in the Greek city-states that are very unhappy about the loss of Syracuse and want revenge for it, and, you know, now there's the whole back-and-forth political game in Greece happening between do we want to fight the Romans or do we not fight the Romans? Of course, this isn't actually modelled in the game. I mean, it kind of is. They are actually legitimately upset that they've lost Syracuse, and there are scripts in the game to make them fight me to get Syracuse back, because it's one of their starting cities. So that is kind of put into the game in some way, just not on an as complex level, but we can imagine, right? We can use our imagination. We can be like children for a little bit and pretend. Because, you know, if the end result is they're still going to do the exact same thing, which is occasionally attack me and occasionally back off because I'm stronger. If I just sort of assign a story to those events, then nothing really changes. It just makes my experience a little bit more enjoyable, and you know what? I think that's great. Now, what was I was talking about the situation over here. I want to bait the Greeks into attacking Thermon again by making it look weak, but also when they attack Thermon, I can go back and defeat them. I already mentioned this, but that's not the only thing. Apollonia is still here, and the Brutii family are not doing anything about it. I believe they're somehow stuck here and don't know what to do. Maybe they want to bring in reinforcements, maybe not. Honestly, don't know, don't care. I want to push them in the right direction. But not only that, there's one more thing. There is one more thing. Why I don't want to conquer all of this is I actually want the Brutii to be strong and take all of this, because, spoilers, the mid to end game event here is the Civil War. between the Roman families. You cannot obey the Senate forever. They will turn against you because you're too powerful. At first, they will ask to imprison or kill members of your family, and then they're going to ask, I think, for like increasingly more ludicrous things, to kill your faction leaders, so on and so forth, until eventually you say no. When you say no, they declare war on you, and the other two Roman families join in. Then it's a civil war. So the reason I want the Brutii to actually succeed is I want to make the civil war at least somewhat interesting. If the Brutii have two settlements, then it's not much of a civil war, but if they control all of Greece, Asia Minor, the Balkans, maybe stuff up here, maybe parts of the Middle East down here, then oh yes. This changes things. Then the campaign will last not 100 turns, but like 400, 500 turns. And the beauty of it is, the later you progress, it doesn't actually get more boring. In games like Rome 2 or Warhammer or stuff like that, the game gets a little bit dull when you get past turn 100, because you have all the best units in your armies, you can recruit them globally, and the game becomes a little bit repetitive. You're just fighting with your lead, with your main sort of army composition over and over again, painting the map. Here, you suffer from, a similar thing, but only to an extent. Right? There's a big difference in that, well, first of all, you also have those minor battles where, it's not exactly army-based. You can have as many armies as you want. The entire system has changed, of course. I think all of us know that. So you can have, like, tiny skirmishes as well as bigger battles. But also, in this game, because there's three factions that blob out to be huge, you actually do kind of keep it interesting. So you're not fighting against, 50 minor factions that can't resist you. The Julii and the Brutii are a legitimate threat. Well, okay. Not that legitimate of a threat. They can't endanger you that way. You are going to win. But at the same time, it is interesting to fight them. And you've been fighting, either barbarians or Carthaginians or Greeks for the majority of the game. Now fighting Romans who have the same units as you do, that's, believe it or not, that makes it kind of interesting, because you haven't done it yet, and you rarely do it, so yeah, you go up against yourself in some manner of speaking. It's quite fun from that perspective. Anyways, my praising of Rome Total War aside, we are the richest faction again. And the Greeks haven't attacked me.
General, attack!
Yeah, I want to proceed. I am going to besiege and possibly conquer Apollonia. Now, over here is a ginormous Scipii. Well, it is, we have a full legion here. It's a ginormous Scipii army, but more importantly, it's a giant Carthaginian army of around 3,000 men. And that is a problem. So tell you what.
Aye, Captain. Prepare to engage.
I knew they were depleted, so we would win.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Chase that navy off. Save. Because I'm not sure whether these guys will reinforce when I attack or not. They shouldn't be able to. Like, they shouldn't be within range. And they're gonna back off. Yeah. let me get another unit of Astarte here. And stone walls would be nice, but I somehow think we're not going to be able to get them on time. For reasons. And yeah, I think that's all she wrote for us. There's no way to isolate these guys. As much as I would love that. I have, like, what, 3 units of elephants? It's going to be tough to defend this, but I think if I'm in the settlement, I'll have an advantage. And I will be able to defend it. I think. I'm not sure, but that should be the case. Let's... farms or... Let's get an archery range here for the whole public order and cultural unrest thing. And over here, shipwright, I guess, for the same reasons. Paved roads. And this is already building something. Thermon is not building anything. I would like to build things that I'm not going to lose should the settlement fall once again. So let's get a trader, I suppose. Though I can't help but think that I've already built that in Thermon. Either way. Maintain the siege here, and... it's gonna be ugly, but I'm gonna get attacked at Thapsas, and honestly... probably... I don't know, like... I might lose this, but even if I do, it'll make the series interesting, and it'll make the campaign more interesting. Because... yeah, it's like, if I just beat them here, it's over. Carthage is gone. But if they win at Thapsas... now there's an interesting dynamic. I will have freed up a ton of money, and I'll be able to recruit, like, a bunch of soldiers. And I will just re-recruit all my men, and then probably send them back to Carthage again, and then fight again, and then, you know, probably win a second time and have vengeance. But then there's, like, a mini-story within the campaign already. Which is something that this game really excels at, like, creating little stories like that. Either riots at Carthage. Ooh. Good. It's a really big city. It can take riots and damage and stuff like that. I don't mind. We are very, very evenly balanced. Yeah, I'm gonna sally out, I think. I'm gonna sally out. Not right now, I want to do everything else and then do it, but I think I'm gonna sally out. Okay, city expands Capua. What? Oh, Proconsul's Palace. I thought it was an Imperial Palace already. I was a little bit terrified. Okay. Marker than this. It'll get rid of a lot of the squalor penalty. That's a good thing. Oh, the performance is gonna start being a problem again, is it? Or not? No, it's alright. I want to get Apollonia first, I think. Yeah, I want to conquer Apollonia first. I'm going to do it off camera. It's not very interesting. It's just like 2 militia hoplites. I would auto-resolve, but it's going to damage units that I don't want it to damage, so yeah. Let me fight this out, and then we'll sally out and defend Thapsas probably after that if we have time. In the video, that is. Basically, I would rather show you the Battle of Thapsas than a tiny siege of a godforsaken colony. Guys, I know I wouldn't show you the battle, but while the game was loading, I went over to the Facebook group and asked for help. It turns out I'm just literally an idiot. Hold space. Battle defaults. Unit speed, guard mode, skirmish mode, groups. There you go. And now, when I group them, it's just like the old Rome Total War. And when I tell them to move, obviously the game's paused right now, but when I tell them to move, they walk. That is all. Thank you. I'm done. See you after the battle. I'm so happy this is a thing. I am so freaking happy this is a thing. I just feel like such an idiot, honestly. But hey, stuff like this happens all the time. I see people that ask questions like these all the time, and when you tell them, they're like, you know, I probably am a disappointment to my parents at this point, but hey. Something something Rome has conquered. Isn't that what you usually say? Come on.
Victory and glory!
Thank you, yes. I don't know why that took 10 minutes to realise, but okay, here we go. Apollonia is now ours. The Brutii did help. Thank you for helping. They've sacrificed an entire unit of Equitate doing it, and this unit of Astarte lost quite a few men, but, yeah, you know, it is what it is. Let's build... Well, let's repair the walls, first of all, and, let's get a port, I think. Yeah. Retrain these guys. Buy some town watch. Put it on, like, high taxes, I think. It's a small town. It's not going to make a lot of money, but it's not going to be... It's not going to require any maintenance either. I mean, this legion, and I'm going to call it the First Legion, alright? We're gonna start operating in legions now. Early game, can't really do that because, you know, you need to work with minor forces. Now we're in the mid-game, we can start working with legions. So, the First Legion, under Gaius Scipio currently, is going to stay here either way. Is it worth committing a full legion to guarding Thermon and Apollonia when those settlements together don't pay for it? Absolutely not. The reason they're here is to provoke the Greeks, and should the Greeks ever decide to fight us again, they're going to be here and they're going to take the fight to the Greeks probably by taking Larissa and maybe, you know, moving down here and stuff like that. A full legion like this can absolutely take on most of what's here. Not all of it. The Greeks have 3 full stacks. That is a problem. But they are very weak. Most of it is militia hoplites and archers, stuff that I chew through basically with my units. So to that end, 1 legion is more than enough, and even if it isn't, I can't afford anything else. But now comes the main event of the day, and the Battle of Thapsas, where history is made. Either we defeat the Carthaginians and win, or we lose to the Carthaginians and have to run away with our tails between our legs. We will have lost 2 phenomenal generals, and we'll probably get another one for, like, adoption or coming of age or something like that, but even then, like, it's really not ideal, to be honest with you. I'm going to recruit a couple of merchants from all over the place, I think. Yeah, mostly in Sicily. And I think I'm going to send them in Africa somewhere, and I'm going to auto-manage them. I cannot be bothered with merchants. Merchants were not a thing in Rome. This was added in the Remastered. They are a thing, of course, in Medieval and later, but in the original release of Rome, they were not a unit. But they've added them now here, which, you know, I suppose is fine. Okay. Main event of the day. Let's go. Alright, here we go. No general speech this time because it's a sally out battle. Unfortunately, we don't get speeches for something like that. It kind of sucks. I mean, it's around a third, maybe, of our armed forces. realistically a half, since garrisons don't really fight, and like Town Watch aren't something I'm ever going to use to win battles. But you know, I'm sure our general had quite a few things to say about the whole situation we find ourselves in. Unfortunately, he won't get a chance to do it. But, in brief, I am not going to give a motivational speech. I mean, I could, to be honest with you, but it'll take, like, some time to think of something and write it down and then deliver it, and it's just not worth it. But, in short, it is do or die. So give it your all, men of Rome, because either we win the battle here today, or you die starving or crushed at the foot of elephants in this settlement. And it's not only your lives that you're fighting for, it's all of Rome herself. Because if we can't win the battle here, then the entire campaign in Africa sort of falls apart, and, well, that's certainly not ideal, is it? I'm going to sally out like this. It is so cooler now that they're walking instead of running. I mean, it is superior in every way, shape, and form. It is messy, of course, because, you know, they're not... they are lining up fairly well, but it is very cramped there, but they'll form up nicely over here. Eventually. Luckily, the Carthaginians are being really kind about this, and are just sort of sitting here. Now, here's the thing. As much as I like the little stories which this game excels at creating inadvertently most of the time, that really you the player create. You know, like I mentioned the sort of gifting of Thermon as a sort of plead for a ceasefire, and the political struggles in Greece that I've imagined, and all of that stuff. That's really fascinating and great, but you know what's also fascinating and great is breaking the AI. And this is breaking the AI. They don't count this as a tower. They might soon, when they start losing a lot of men, but they don't count this as a tower. So they are willing to just park troops in front of it and die. And I'm willing to just sit here for 45 minutes letting the tower kill an absurd amount of Carthaginians. Even if this battle ends in a draw, it'll still be worth it. I will have killed way more of them than my soldiers will have died of attrition. And the tower has infinite ammo. I mean, so far I'm not abusing the AI, because I'm just marching my forces out. I can't force them to move. I need to get my forces out into the open field first. So, like, this isn't on me, but I'm assuming they're going to respond to me positioning myself here, and then, yeah, they're going to charge. I think this is triggered by losing a certain amount of men. And they're going to be like, oh, no, we're losing, we're dying, they're not dying, we need to change tactics, we need to move, and yeah, probably what's going to happen, but I mean, to be honest with you, even if it doesn't, They've lost so many men. Is it visible percentage-wise? Okay, 3%. Yeah, so many men, but it's like it's free. I haven't done anything. I've barely moved out of the settlement. Don't turn your backs on them! Okay, they missed somehow. Okay, time to get the cavalry forward. And can we just do this? All the while, they're still losing soldiers to that tower, that one lone hero tower. What's on their left flank? Let's examine this army a little bit. It's just one stupidly long, thin line, but that makes sense because they were surrounding the settlement. So currently on their flank, Libyan spearmen, those are good against cavalry, some skirmishers, that's sort of more inwards, and round shield cavalry. I think I can get to the peltasts and run them over before they back away into the melee infantry behind. And I think I can kill a fair number of them. And now we back off. Oh, I also need to disable skirmish mode as a default option. Skirmish mode is not very good. I prefer to manually tell my men how to skirmish than have them do it on their own. Okay. So far, so good. They're sort of running amok, honestly, and they're not quite sure how to engage us. They want to skirmish first before they muster the will and bravery to fight, but they're not entirely sure how to get closer. Plus, I mean, this is kind of terrifying. It's like a natural extension of the walls, almost, and they don't have any siege equipment yet. I mean, look at this. This is a graveyard over here, and it's been, like, what, less than 10 minutes of active shooting. And they are at 94%. I mean, if we kill 10% of them just with the siege tower, I'm more than happy to just call it a draw and go back into the city and do it all over again. In the next few months. Well, you know, continue to do it as the siege persists. Though chances are I won't get the opportunity because they'll make siege equipment and they won't just stand there. They'll probably use it, but if they don't, now Libyan spearmen. Now that's a good unit. That's. I don't think it's better than my Pricape, but it's kind of their equivalent. Iberian infantry should be an equivalent to Hastati. Hastati are kind of better, if we're honest. Town militia is where they have us beat to some extent, because their town militia is better than my town watch, and they should be kind of on the same level. cost and all that wise, but their town militia is better than this. But yeah, I think I can beat pretty much all of this one-on-one, and then just use the cavalry to mop up everything behind. Just, you know, why though? It's a war of attrition at this point, and they're just dying and falling over one at a time. 92%. Like, roughly every 3 seconds a Carthaginian dies. Which is not the fastest thing ever, but at the same time, like, I'm just sitting there in the middle of a desert storm, to be honest with you, which is also not ideal. I mean, I prefer some nicer weather, but I guess you can't have it all. Now, do I try and poke the bear a little bit? Try and go around, hit the skirmishers in the rear with cavalry or something? Oh, they're moving their cavalry. It kind of feels like a chess game, except one of my pieces is immortal and continues to take their pawns. It really, really does. Velites account for quite a lot of the balance of power because of their ammunition. You know what I could do, considering that they've given up on skirmishing? I could follow the line of reasoning of the tower and just get the Velites forward. Yeah, let's do that. I don't like breaking the AI like this on video. I mean, I'll do this in my own time because I think it's funny and it is entertaining to me, and I know a lot of people don't really understand that. They're like, how's this entertaining to you? There's nothing happening. Well, look, some of us like breaking AI and we find it entertaining. But anyways, I'm going to poke them a little bit, see if I can't use the Velites to elicit a response. I think I moved them in too close. Nope, they're not firing. This is the perfect range. Alright, just launch those javelins and then get out. I mean, that's all you're good for anyway. Not to offend you, but, you know, that is literally your only job in the army. By the end of this barrage, we would have killed, like, 20% of the Carthaginian army here, and that's 20% of the entire Carthaginian army in Africa, as far as we're aware. I know they have settlements in Hispania, and they probably have an army or two down there to defend those settlements and try and expand, I'm guessing, but regardless of the fact, like, this is their capital, this is their main stuff, and well, currently this is their graveyard. Yeah, like 80%, like I said. That was actually extremely accurate. Big fan of that. And the Velites are done. Oh, get out of there, guys. Your job's done, you get paid. And that is literally, by the way, historically what their job was. Velites were not there to fight in melee. They were not there to participate in the battle in any other way. They were sometimes used as scouts, though that felt mostly to the Equite, and they were sometimes used for, like, supply runs, scavenging, etc., etc. I mean, you know, you never really have only one job in the army. There's, especially given the fact that 99.99999% of the time you're not actually fighting. So yeah, they did have things to do. I think they were also used for hunting. Most of them were really good hunters, and they did that as well. But as far as actual battles are concerned, they would step in front of everyone, hurl javelins. Sometimes the enemy would throw javelins back, and you know, it's an occupational hazard. But when they depleted their ammunition, they would just retreat behind everyone else. Effectively, I mean, not literally leave the battle, but effectively leave the battle. Leave the engagement, and then the Hastati would go in, and then, you know, if the Hastati didn't win, then the Principe would have to go get involved, and if the Principe didn't win, then, well, then the battle was lost. Then the Triarii would, of course, have to get involved, and if the Triarii get involved, something's gone horribly wrong. And, while I was giving a history lesson, I completely neglected the fact that their peltasts came into contact with us, with some of our forces. That's unfortunate. I mean, just imagine how much more broken all of this would be if the towers had infinite ammunition. Sorry, no. They do. They do have infinite ammunition. If they had infinite range, like they do in the more modern games. Yeah. I'll move the town watch over here, I think. Or more specifically, I'll run them over there. I'll keep the Velites kind of nearby in case something horrible happens. Stop killing my soldiers, goddammit. There you go, you were too slow this time. Well, you did launch another volley, so congratulations, even, but yeah. Okay, I don't want you to stay in that fight, especially with the Iberian infantry. I mean, you can beat them, but not something I want to do. I think it's time to start the battle proper. And here we go. The Legion advances. It's a little bit scary that they're at 73% of their force, so 30-something% of their forces have been killed. Not 30-something, 20-something, like 7-ish. This is not perfectly accurate, but around 27% of their forces have been killed, and
the enemy general is killed.
Okay, now we're winning the battle. Like, now we're in there. That was a very foolish move by their general, but he is just a lowly captain. I did not expect much else from him. Keep marching forward. Okay, there's a lot of in and out play here, but I mucked this up a little bit, but that's alright. Yeah, this is good. No. Brick-a-Bay, come back. I have a bigger problem that I need you to solve for me. And I'll get the cavalry to chase down all the smaller issues at hand. Okay, so we found some enemies that actually want to fight us. That's good. Brick-a-Bay are gonna need to kill the elephants. That's all your job is gonna entail so far. Okay, don't pick a fight with the Libyan spearmen. Instead, let's get the cavalry around and fighting all of this thing. This whole blob here that's trying to run away. So yeah, them, and them. That should be 4 enemy units knocked out, and this is how good the Brick-a-Bay are. Elephants gone. Just gone. Okay, now I want the Velites here to actually get engaged in chasing down the enemy. Okay, job done. Well, good work. I mean, just phenomenal work. Phenomenal work. Now it's down to the cavalry to just chase down everyone that's fleeing. Yeah. There we go.
Show their true virtue. They are not soldiers, only frightened rabbits running from our men.
Yep. That's it. That is all she wrote for Carthage. We wiped the floor with them. And in terms of quality, I mean, we had better troops. We had Brick-a-Bay, they had nothing. I mean, they had Libyan spearmen, which are technically supposed to be pretty good. But the problem with Carthage is their troop quality is just inferior to Rome's. Rome just has better men. Like, Rome is just better. Cost-wise and sort of tier-wise, it's supposed to be like Iberian infantry, Hastati, Libyan infantry, Brick-a-Bay, Poeni infantry, Triarii. It just doesn't. It doesn't work like that, though. It doesn't. Rome comes on top in one-on-one engagements like that all the time, and Carthage has to rely on like something else. They have to rely on numbers, economy, elephants, stuff like that. But yeah, like not in this battle, I'm afraid. In this battle, none of that worked, and yeah, I'm immensely impressed with the Brick-a-Bay. I mean, okay, they've lost a fair few men. I accept that. Sorry, I accept that. He says, looking at the Hastati, they've lost a fair few men, especially this unit. I mean, these guys have lost nothing, but I don't think they've engaged in fighting much. And the brunt of the impact was taken by this Hastati unit from the elephants, but like, regardless of the fact, look at this, we've lost practically nothing. And, yeah. Carthage has lost 3,000 men, and we've lost, like, what, 200? Let's take a look at this. Casualties inflicted. The two generals did around 400. One of the Brick-a-Bays did 124, the one that was probably engaged with the actual infantry. And then the rest of the Brick-a-Bay, I mean, these guys did 0, these guys did 1. That 1 is most likely an elephant, and these guys killed a lot of elephants too. Hastati did it incredibly well. The Town Watch killed 144 soldiers, which is insane, but I'm assuming these were routing Libyan spearmen that they've killed. Yeah, I mean, just look at that. That is insane, honestly. It's honestly insane. And there we go. And my favourite song as reward. Perfect. You know what? I'm gonna let you listen to it. I'm just gonna shut up for the next 2 minutes and let you enjoy this beauty and turn up the music.
Fleet ready!
Thing of beauty, isn't it? Genuinely the best music of any of the Total War games, easily. Matter of fact, so much so that one of the first mods ever made for Rome 2 Total War, in all its brokenness and troubles...
Let us end the bloodshed.
No, I want your capital, and then we can end the bloodshed, but I want your capital first.
Until next time.
Though, to be fair, I can probably sign the peace treaty, because your capital's going to revolt anyway, and then I just fight the rebels. That's kind of tempting, but anyways, the Greeks are gearing up to it. Jesus, that's the most well-coordinated enemy army I've seen in my life. 3 full stacks all together, perfectly lined up. Wow. Okay. Let's see, marriage celebration. Cool. I will take a look at the family tree in a bit. Let's take a look at the construction report. So, there are buildings queued up here and here, so I don't need to worry about that. There is nothing queued up in Thermon, though. Let's build something there. Something that will last forever and not be destroyed when the Greeks, well, if the Greeks take it over again. Something like communal farming, I think. Yeah, and then let's get another town watch here. And this is plenty of garrison already. Alright, how much money are we making next turn? 27,000. Wow, that is... You know what's funny? That's almost enough to make another full army. Crazy.
Awaiting your command.
Okay, let's get you onto a ship. Agents can get onto ships, no problem, from a city. It's units that have a problem with it, apparently. Oh well. I'm going to land you over at our only friendly port in the region so far. Now... I would like to leave Thapsas. Problem is I can't do that. I really can't do that. Carthage is not rioting anymore, that's a shame. Okay, I want to leave Carthage alone and let them build up an army and have an actual proper battle for Carthage that's going to be not really difficult, because they're never going to get up to that level after a defeat like this, which only makes sense. I mean, I don't really want them to spawn a huge stack there immediately anyway, but let's get rid of this. Plus is the wrong shrine anyway. You want a shrine to Saturn. Okay, yeah. So let's do that. I'm just gonna wait here for a little bit. We also have trade with the Numidians, who now should like me a little bit more. Yeah, our relationship is at 60, whatever that means. Would you be willing to accept map information? 1,005. Do you know what? Take it. I have a lot of money. Whoa! Whoa, okay, that was worth it, honestly. The Numidians are a powerhouse. I mean, they've made it all the way to Egypt in like a few dozen turns. I'm assuming Carthago Nova and like these areas and these islands are still controlled by the Carthaginians, because the Numidians don't have them, but come on, like, that is pretty insane. Congratulations, Numidia, you will be backstabbed by me eventually, but honestly, I'm happy to let you live in peace for now, and then, you know, go via ship to Hispania and fight there like that, and then sort of leave you for last, almost. Wow, that was quite something. I wonder when the Greeks will attack. It should be soon. I also find it kind of interesting that Patavium is still under the control of the Germani who've come down south. Ooh, okay. Back at it again, eh? Alright, I am prepared. I am prepared. I was waiting for something like this to happen. First of all, we're going to need to lower the tax rate at Capua. And can we increase it somewhere? Yes, we can increase it at Syracuse, which should in some weird way balance itself out. We can put it at very high over here. I'm not sure I want to do that. And Thapsas, we can put it to normal, so in my modest opinion, that should let us get more money in the long run. Stoic Philosophy has been invented. Ariston of Chios begins his teachings of the Stoic way of life. This philosophy derives its name from the porch of the Athenian agora, Stoa Poikile. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It is here that Stoics first met and propounded their ideas that emotions like envy or passion arise from false judgments. A person who has attained moral and intellectual perfection will avoid these feelings. Most advanced faction, the House of Scipii. Fascinating, especially considering Egypt exists. But hey. -1 management. Ooh, this is, wow, you have... You know, there's Plain, this man looks... not his greatest asset, but he has personality. Yeah. You may look plain, but your traits certainly aren't. I mean, I had a son come of age recently and he had like 1 trait. You have a long list. So, -1 influence, -1 management, 10% penalty to trade. Do not make him a governor. He's a terrible governor. However, natural born leader. Political animal. Confident in defense. Superior builder. Alright. Heartless ruler. Cool. Yeah, just never ever ever become an actual governor of a place, because, well, it's not like you're the worst ever. You're actually not that bad, but you just have negative modifiers, which, you know, don't exactly help. I'm gonna build roads here because I want to get to Carthage quicker, and it's a big boost to the economy, and honestly to defenses as well. It's easier to maneuver and all of that stuff. Take over Sparta in 5 turns. Unlikely to be a thing. The Greeks have actually lifted their siege, which is kind of interesting. So let's get our forces out of Apollonia, which is still very upset about something. Unrest, cultural penalty, I guess. I don't know, I mean, you can riot all you want, but I'll get you another unit of Town Watch, but... Oh, wait, sorry, what? Oh, it just took a minute to update, okay. Thank you. I'm going to head to the port here, or to the... Yeah, it is a proper port, it's not just a coastal village. I'm going to sit at the docks here, because I can't reach the city in time, but they can't reach this army either, so... Yeah, I think I'm going to recruit, like, a unit of... Velitae in the city. Yeah, we don't have that many Velitae in the army here. I mean, this isn't great. It's 1 full army and another half army. Well, actually, a little bit more than that, honestly. Versus a Roman legion, which, you know, I had a very early Roman legion, just Hastati and 4 Equitae instead of 2. But it's gonna be close. I think I'm either gonna beat them or I'm gonna bloody them so hard that they won't be able to actually effectively do much. Though I really want to defend Thermon. It's not because I need the city, it's not from making that much money, but it may not be making a lot of money, but it certainly is a question of pride now more than than actual pragmatics. So speaking of pride, I think it's time we make another legion. Just like the one that fought at Thapsas. This one will be composed of 4 Velitae, 4 Hastati, 2 Equitae, and 4 Principae. And where I'm going to send this legion, I'm not sure. It's probably going to end up going to Spain. But, you know, wherever it ends up going, it doesn't really matter. I want this spy to go... Oh, wow, that is not what I meant to do. Sorry, I realized the game lagged, but... Wow, you just calculated a path around the world, effectively. And there. Congratulations, that was very quick, considering the size of the path. No, I actually want you to go to Carthage and infiltrate it. Although actually not immediately. But I do want you to try and do that before we actually attack Carthage. Anyways, I think it's time to end the video here. It's been quite a while. We've had this massive battle. So, 4 turns from now, maybe a little bit over, we're going to have our proper army, or another proper army. We'll see where we send it. It might be Greece, might not be. And then, yeah, then we should be done.
Aye, aye, Captain. Disembarking. Going ashore.
Oh, you can't do it like this, right? Oh, please don't crash the game. I realised my mistake. Yeah, you need to
Can I be of service?
disembark one of them.
Securing resources.
Do that, and then disembark the other. You need to do it one at a time. Like, I'll have you sit on those resources, but I'll let the AI auto-manage you.
Securing resources.
Can't be bothered to do it manually. And then this fleet goes up here to
Aye, aye, Captain.
Capua to pick up the Principe that I'm recruiting. And right on time, the game starts having performance issues. All right. Anyways, I think this will be it for now. We're making a decent bit of cash, and either we're going to lose this legion or it's going to win, and we're going to start driving the Greeks back. Either which way is fine by me. We're going to make another one and come back here with a vengeance. It's most likely going to be Greece, because Carthage will fall very soon. And if it... or sorry, not if, but when it falls, the Carthaginians can't do anything to take it back. All of their forces are probably stuck in Spain, however many they have, which I don't imagine is a lot. And, yeah, our diplomat over here is going to have a... He's going to get very old by the time he reaches Egypt, but it is good to get a trade agreement with them, and it's very important, so it's good work that he's doing. Anyways, for now, that's going to be it for this video. There's going to be some exciting things happening around Thermon. We're going to fight the Greeks properly for once, as we've wiped the floor with the Carthaginians, and campaign is nearing its logical conclusion, which is going to be probably a few more episodes from here. I don't want to drag it on too much. I just want to sort of get a feel for the game and show it to you, but I don't want to, you know, drag this on for 100 episodes. There are other things that I do need to do as well, but I guess it depends on how the series is, how the series goes over in terms of analytics and views and stuff like that. But anyways, I'll see you all next time. Have fun, take care, and bye-bye.